Hi, friends, fellow star voyagers on Earth. Um, it's been a while since I did a live, and I'd like to share with you what's inspiring me today is that today is the full moon partial eclipse at 26 degrees Pisces. And it's also a pretty special time because, as many of you who follow astrology know, Pluto has dipped back into Capricorn for its last hurrah in Capricorn for the rest of our lifetime and a few generations' lifetimes. And so we're at a very particular moment, and we're also preparing to enter into the equinox. So there's a lot happening in the cosmic weather right now. And I want to share with you about the degree that this eclipse is happening at, which is 26 Pisces. And the name of this degree is the Aurora Borealis. That's the Chandra symbol for this degree. And in the short version of this degree, according to John Sandbach from the Circular Temple, he says that about this degree is about our ability to focus on the overlighting spiritual forces at work in all situations. That we can see everything in an expanded context and being imbued with all the overtones and the shimmering through of the divine, and that this awareness isn't one that's easy to express, as I notice that I'm stumbling over my words here a little bit as I'm sharing with you. And but the witnessing of it, just the noticing of this shimmering, just this moment when we bring our consciousness to that, what that does when we bring that witnessing in is that it brings some of this energy into the world around us and around you. And it helps others to also be able to loosen up and lighten up and to soften the tightness of our focus. So, this is a Virgoan degree, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about Virgo and the nature of Virgo in this context in a minute. And just as in the omega symbol of this degree, which the omega symbol for this degree is a writer endlessly revising his work. And again, I'm referencing John Sandbach's work. Um, and so there's something here about seeing perfection and a revision of things so that we can come into perfection. So simply put, Virgo is the mutable earth sign. And the challenge of Virgo, as I was taught by my teacher, Mark Borax, soul level astrologer and best-selling author and the headmaster of the College of Visionaries and Wizards, Virgo is the ability to see the perfection of what could be, to be able to see what's actually possible if we could just perfect things and get them exactly quote unquote right. That's the karma of Virgo and also the gift of Virgo. The flip side of that and the grace of Virgo is the ability to know the perfection in how things are as they are and to see the perfection in what they are in this very moment. Um, and this is something I'm very familiar with as one who has a Virgo moon and a very strong Virgo moon. And I have a lot of strong Virgo in my chart. I'm also born in the year of the dog, which is associated with the sign of Virgo. And I have a lot of opposition in my chart. And opposition is the aspect in astrology that also connects to the sign of Virgo. And what an opposition seeks to create, and that's actually what's happening when we have a full moon, is there's an exact opposition between the sun and the moon, and that lights the moon up fully. And so what an opposition is desiring to create is to support each body, each part, each individual, each piece to fully be itself. And this I want to speak to because as we enter into election time, polarity karma is running rampant on this planet. And polarity karma is good, bad, black, white, gay, straight, Democrat, Republican, you know, Trump, Kamala, right? That is polarity karma, where one is better than the other, and one needs to change so that the other can feel happy, right? And that is the karmic side of opposition and polarity consciousness. That's when we're still playing in the karmic game of it all. what the dharmic version of opposition is and what opposition actually invites us to is, and what the purpose of relating as humans is that in relating to other, each one fully and completely be itself. And by each one fully and completely being itself, that is an invitation to the other to fully be itself. Now, that is very different than the way that we are doing things in this very sick culture that we live in right now. There's a sickness that we all have, and we've all been infected with this virus of a form of duality, which, in certain spiritual paths, they would say is part of the nature of earth existence. And there is a certain amount of that that is can't be helped when we're in this plane of existence. However, there's also the possibility to be able to transcend beyond that, and not just transcend by spiritual bypassing, but to truly transcend by taking the steps necessary to evolve our consciousness so that it changes. So that when we look at the other, just as I'm looking at you right now, right? If you're facing your screen directly, you and I are in an opposition at this moment. We are facing each other. And so in the depth of opposition and the alchemy, if we are to be the incredibly magical creatures that we all are as humans, and gain our capacity to be the magicians that we are, and the sorcerers that we are, and the just amazing potential of what is possible as human beings. That's what the opposition wants to give us. It's an invitation to fully come into self and honor self, and to look at the other and to fully welcome the other to fully be itself without judgment, with discernment, but without judgment and without applying guilt and shame to any of the parties involved. So that's a little bit about opposition. Now, I want to go into this degree. This is a very beautiful degree. This degree is called the Aurora Borealis. And I am reading from a book from my teacher's teacher called 360 Degrees of Your Star Destiny, a Zodiac Oracle, or a Zodiac Oral. It is an oral tradition by Elias Lonsdale. And so his interpretation of this degree, the Aurora Borealis, a transfixing vision of ultimate perfection and wholeness. And I invite you, if you're watching this, for this next piece, just close your eyes and just drop inside of yourself and just let these words like move in you and through you at a place. Let them hit your soul, beyond your mind, deeper than your mind. Let them penetrate into a deeper space inside of you and see what happens in your consciousness. So, Pisces 26, the Aurora Borealis, a transfixing vision of ultimate perfection and wholeness, the raw feeling for what is intended, what is possible, where it all will go after we have returned to ourselves, the consistent nagging presence close at hand of the optimal ideal state as calling, claiming, and propelling us toward it. What we see there and feel there is utopia, the place over the hill, the green pasture of infinity. What we seek through this focus is our belongingness to the cosmos, to the divine world order. And what we find when we go there is that something has to be surrendered in order to get through, which turns out to be the main point. So this is me talking. So what he's saying is that as we see this possibility over the hill and we begin to put our focus there, what the point is not necessarily the thing we see, but what must be surrendered as our vision sets sight on this place that's beyond, that's in our dreaming and in our imagining. And here's what it is that we have to face and let go of. You ready? Whatever we have held over ourselves and our world as the way it's gotta be becomes what must be given over to make the passage to that dream vision real. I'm going to read that sentence again. Whatever we have held over ourselves and our world as the way it's gotta be becomes what must be given over to make the passage to that dream vision real. What we assume that will be takes on an aspect of tyranny, rigidity, and falseness. But that which we surrender to as the actual fulfilled image is substantial, nourishing, and is what it is cracked up to be. Therefore, we are highly motivated here to get through our own pretense and memories and get on with the infinite dance of existence beyond the known. In fact, we are so deeply inspired by what dwells beyond all familiar projections that we outlast every cycle of inflation or tangential fascination with ease. All of it is just grist for the mill. So this is Anne speaking again for a second. So he's saying all of the things that we have to get through to be able to get here to what we're inspired to are just, they're just a part of the process. And we don't need to consternate upon them and hang on to them and contemplate every little teeny tiny itty thing and process it. We can just let go like that. We are coming. And why do we want to let go like that? Here's the next part. We are coming into a divine inheritance. This is profligate and it is lavish. Once we are at one with it, we will realize and experience that every juncture we were guided, at every juncture we were guided and beautifully orchestrated to take through us each temporal version of the great mystery. As we fuse with Source, we will know beyond the shadows with compassion and at long last why we and all the others had to fall for every delusion. We will know why we had to get hooked on each limited version of awakening to the center point of all existence. So this is Anne speaking again, and I just want to thank Elias for this tapping into this degree of 26 degrees Pisces, and thank Mark Borax and Marcella Eversole for all the years that they've spent teaching me and exposing me to this lineage of astrology. That what Elias is saying here is we have this opportunity to tune in to something greater, and in that process we get to see the beauty and the perfection of every little moment that we've been hooked and we've been deluded, and that for everyone else too, which gives us the ability to free ourselves of our judgment, our shame, our self-criticism, and free the way that we project that onto others. And the only other thing I want to say today is to just acknowledge that we have this eclipse, and then we're going into the equinox here soon, which hits us, I believe, on Sunday afternoon. And so our equinox time is going to be sandwiched between two eclipses. And the equinox is this time where it's an invitation to come into internal balance of those polarities, which we often think of as masculine and feminine, but it's any version of polarity. This is the time when that's happening on the planet in a real way. Night and day are equal. And so that energy invites each of us to come in to that equanimity, to that equipoise within us. And that is the invitation. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And may you be blessed in this time with whatever your own version of coming to know and love yourself and others and awakening is for you, whatever your path with heart is. Thank you so much. I'm Ann DeSutter. I'm a certified soul level astrologer. I welcome any of you that want to take a deeper dive into your charts to get in touch with me. I'll put my website there, and please feel free to comment about how this is, what you're integrating and what is landing for you about this. Okay? Thank you so much, and take care. Bye-bye.